In our last video, I wanted to recap some of the big ideas from this unit and then introduce the assignments that you'll be asked to complete. Now, I appreciate your patience. Obviously, this is a little bit untraditional format for our first couple of days of class, but I'm looking forward to being back with you all on Monday. All right, so what are the big things that you should take away from these videos? The first is you should remember what a differential equation is. It's an equation that relates some unknown function to its derivatives. Secondly, you should remember the 4 different types of solutions that we talked about. We talked about 2 types of analytical solutions: explicit, where we have a nice formula, and implicit, where we have some sort of equation that defines the unknown function. And then lastly, we talked about graphical and numerical solutions as well. Okay, we also introduced a couple of different general approaches to finding analytical solutions. Now, we will unpack these a lot more in the weeks to come, but the main types of methods that we have at our disposal are things that are based on intelligent guessing and checking, and techniques that are based around integration. Okay? And lastly, we looked at a couple of examples of how we can use both of those approaches to solve differential equations. For now, I will provide a guess so that you know where to start if guessing and checking is needed, but later on we'll talk about how do you come up with the right intuition to come up with guesses on your own. And then we also did some examples where you use antiderivatives or definite integrals to get rid of the derivatives in the equation and solve. And we saw that there were some parallels in the way that you construct a solution to a differential equation to the way that you construct a solution to a linear system of equations like the ones that you've seen in linear algebra. And in fact, when we have information beyond the equation, we have some initial conditions, we saw that we actually have to solve a linear system of equations to get a unique solution. Okay, so I would encourage you to watch these videos carefully. If you haven't done so, I would encourage you to feel free to go back and watch them again. Take notes as you would if you were in class, and you're also welcome to pause, rewind, and even change the speed as necessary to make sure that you get as much out of them as you possibly can. All right, the last thing to mention here is we have some assignments for you to complete before I get back on Monday, and you can find those on the Blackboard page. So let's bring that up quickly. All right, so if you go to the home page, you should see on the right this link to a section called Documents, and at the bottom you'll find 2 things. The first is review assignments. This is just for the start of the semester. I wanted to give you a chance to refresh your memory on some of the concepts from prior courses that we will need. And so there are 4 problems. They involve things like interpreting the derivative as a rate of change, computing some antiderivatives and some definite integrals, and also a little bit of linear algebra, finding some eigenvalues. So if you are a little bit rusty on these things, don't worry. I provided some links to some tutorials with worked examples, but I would encourage you to give those a try so that on Monday you have at least thought about them and you have a chance to ask questions. This assignment will be due on Wednesday. I believe that's Wednesday the 23rd. So make sure that you've given it a serious attempt before then. All right, so that's the first thing. And then the second thing is there's a document called homework. That's the last one on the main page. And this is going to be updated periodically with practice problems from the textbook. And pretty much every day after class you should check this to see which problems you've been assigned. There are instructions at the top, and then down below you'll see that there are some daily problems, and those are ones that we are going to be discussing in class on Monday, so you should make sure to work those out in advance and be prepared, maybe even to explain your solutions to your classmates. All right, so the daily problems are there. The exercises are also required problems that you should be working out on paper and be prepared to turn those in when we have a quiz coming up in a few weeks. And then there's some additional practice problems which are not required, but you are encouraged to give them a try to supplement the problems that are required. All right, I will see you Monday.